Brisky. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Well, it's morning where I am. I'm not sure if it's morning where you are or what time you're watching this vlog, but yeah, I've come out to take some images with wide angle lens, 14 to 30 mil, and a wide angle lens isn't usually associated with woodland photography. You normally go for your 24 to 70, 70 to 200. In my case, I got a 24 to 200. But reason for that is so much chaos and clutter in the woodlands that you kind of want to eliminate that by zooming in and focusing on a certain aspect or part of a tree or a scene. But I think, well, all of you out there who are into landscape photography, which I'm guessing most of you are, would have a wide angle lens and probably don't utilize it enough within the woodland scene. So today I'm going to solely use my 14 to 30 mil and see what kind of image I can get. It's going to be a challenge, but I've got help. I've got a lot of help. I've got the fog, which is going to help a lot. So I guess conditions will play into how you use your lens. Rain or going into a woodland that's just had rain and the foliage is all green will help too if you've got a polarizer. Cut off that glare, but today I'm going to use this fog to my advantage. And I found my first first victim. It's this big old behind me here, this big old gum tree, and it's sprawling these branches out, and I'm looking down. I'm on a hill, so I'm looking down. There's a little issue here using the wide angle lens, because I'm on a hill. The hill curves like that, and the wide angle lens might emphasize that sort of curve down in the valley there, which I can't really do anything about that. It'd look better obviously if the horizon down there was straight, but it is what it is. And I'm going to get my first image and see what that looks like. I'll quickly talk you through it, and then I want to get moving because this fog might lift soon. So let's set up. So I'm not 100% sold on this image. Like I said, huge curvature in the hill itself. Wide angle lens will emphasize that, I think. And again, I didn't mention it, but also using a wide angle lens with trunks can distort them, so that it also you can kind of fix in post-processing or Lightroom if you want to play around with that. But if you go for wonky trees and unique looking trunks and branches, you can kind of hide that in your images. So I'm going about 16 mil, so this is 14 to 30, I'm at 16. To the left of the frame I've got this beautiful gum tree. It's all wet from the low cloud in here, some bark stripping off, and then I'm looking across the plain. He's got a friend over here, and then in the background it's the background's dropping off through that fog. Settings wise, I'm going to focus on this tree. I'm going to take two, one at about 5.8 because I want to see what it looks like with those trees in the background completely sort of dropped off. Well, what are we at? Probably go, 5.6. A little bit of wind in here, so I have to put my ISO up to about 400, which means I increase my shutter speed to eliminate the wind. Excuse me, about 1/80th. Round about there looks all right. Histogram's up, back button focus. 2-second timer. See how that looks. I mean, you're getting the idea when I show you about using your wide angle lens and emphasizing a lot of or part of the tree. This big branch is what I'm kind of emphasizing in the frame, and then his friend, and then framed off there. So yeah, it's not going to be anything spectacular, but it's giving you an idea of how to use your kind of wide angle lens, emphasizing parts of trees, framing it off with other parts of the tree. Here's this image. I'm gonna go look for another image.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, I don't think this image worked. I didn't like it. Too much curvature with that wide angle lens looking down the hill there, just distracting. However, the tree on the right really worked, so I went down the hill a bit and got closer to it, and yeah, I think I got a better shot overall than the first image.
Ooh, just driven up the hill a bit more, and yeah, she's cold up here. I haven't mentioned it, or I'm not in that scenario where I can do it with a wide angle lens, is a lone tree, maybe out in a field or on a hill, works really nicely too with a wide angle lens. Just getting that kind of simplistic lone tree and maybe a hill works really nicely, a wide angle lens. But yeah, it's brought me into here where there's a lot of deadfall, and again, landscape photography, using your wide angle, pointing your wide angle down just a little bit, and then emphasizing some of this deadfall I've got in front of me, and using the 16:9, I guess you could say, of these trunks, and just getting a snapshot of that area can work really nicely. As I've come up, the wind, it's a little bit windier up here, so I might have to use a faster shutter speed, I'm not sure. Bit of the bracken and the grasses in here are blowing around a bit, but like I said, I've got this dead tree, deadfall down in the foreground here. It's really wet, so I might go grab my polarizer filter just to cut the glare off that back in the car, because I just noticed it's quite wet, and that'll make it punch. And I'm going to play around and see which works best. But before I do that, I'll quickly run and grab my polarizer. So here it is. Went and grabbed my polarizer. For those who haven't used one, circular polarizer, you spin it. They come in all different brands and ways. You can get magnetic ones that just clip on. This one screws on, but great for waterfalls. Probably the only filter I would recommend if you're getting into landscape photography, the only one you'll ever need, unless you're doing massively long exposures of the ocean or water. But buy one of these first. They're great for waterfalls or anything that's a bit glary, rocks with water on it, and in my case, a log. So that just screws on the front of my lens. Once that's on, I've got a little wheel at the front here that I spin, that'll cut the glare out in the foreground here, which is there. It does obviously darken. It's a filter, it's a dark, so it's darkening about a stop, maybe a bit more. I'm gonna see what best angle looks here, but I do like these two big trees and then the branch itself. But you know, I'm gonna move a foot either side and play around with it, and then I'll let you know what I think looks best. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up there. A couple of questions I need to ask myself is, frostbite on the fingers, what does it look like? It's worse than the toe incident, because I could put my cold feet when I hopped in the creek back into socks and shoes. I did have a pair of gloves in the car, funnily enough, but when you have kids, I'm looking at you, Emery, taking them out and they've worn them and not put them back. So someone's going to get it when I get home. No, but seriously, a lot of you, or probably all of you, have a wide angle lens. So no excuse, get out there get into your local woodland, find a tree that jumps out at you. It doesn't have to be in a woodland, it can be an open paddock. If it's an open paddock, try and get the whole tree in it, make it sort of artistic looking, maybe some negative space to either side of it, so off center it, have a lot of negative space, looks really cool, wide angle lens. But if you're in, like I am, 16:9 really works. If your camera doesn't do that crop ratio, then think about it before you shoot, and maybe in post-process such as Lightroom, crop it at 16:9 using wide angle lens. Okay guys, thanks, thumbs up really helps, comment helps, all that, you know, makes it worth it. I try and respond to all your comments. I'm not always on YouTube, I've got a job, so yeah. Thanks again, have a great week and have a good one.